Good morning, everybody. It's Marcia, Kansas Misfit, and it is time to continue on our Bible study. Week 7, Prosper and Be Happy, and we're going to be reading Leviticus chapter 20 through 23 today. So if you want to grab your Bibles and follow along, let's get started. Punishments for Sin, chapter 20. The Lord said to Moses, "Say to the Israelites, an Israelite or any foreigner residing in Israel who sacrifices any of his children to Moloch is to be put to death. The members of the community are to stone him. I myself will set my face against him and will cut him off from his people, for by sacrificing his children to Moloch, he has defiled my sanctuary and profaned my holy name. If the members of the community close their eyes when that man sacrifices one of his children to Moloch, if they fail to put him to death, I myself will set my face against him and his family and will cut them off from their people together with all who follow him in prostitutioning them for Moloch." I'm going to back you up just a little bit here. I will set my face against anyone who turns to mediums and spirits to prostitution themselves by following them, and I will cut them off from their people. Well, I'm going to have to say something right now, because I guess what I understand from reading this is if you watch paranormal activity movies, people going out and not really chasing ghosts, but trying to talk to them or trying to, I think that's it, talking to the ghosts, that it's wrong. But I got a thrill out of it. It gave me chill bumps. It got me going, made me feel, wow, this is interesting, especially when they're talking to the ghosts and finding out how they died and how if they died naturally, or if they got murdered or whatever, and then find out who killed them, and things like that. I thought that was good. I never thought it was bad. So now I'm gonna have to unsubscribe from all those paranormal activity videos that I guess took up some of my time. I even go to bed listening to them and watching them until I fall asleep. So I think I need to stop. I think reading this is making me see that I can't do that. And so it's time for me to change. And I just publicly said this to the world. So paranormal activity is going to be coming out of my subscription list. And I'll do my best not to. I know it's going to take a while for them to stop popping up on my screen, but I just have to ignore them and ask God for help. I wanted to share that with you. So let's see if we can continue where we left off. Consecrate yourselves and be holy, because I am the Lord your God. Keep my decrees and follow them. I am the Lord who makes you holy. Anyone who curses his father or mother is to be put to death, because they have cursed their father or mother. Their blood will be on their own head. If a man commits adultery with another man's wife, with the wife of his neighbor, both the adulterer and the adulteress are to be put to death. If a man has sexual relations with his father's wife, he has been dishonored he has dishonored his father. Both the man and the woman are to be put to death. Their blood will be on their own heads. If a man has sexual relations with his daughter-in-law, but both of them are to be put to death, what they have done is perversion. Their blood will be on their own heads. If a man has sexual relations with a man as one does with a woman, both of them have done what is detestable. They are to be put to death. Their blood will be on their own heads. If a man marries both a woman and her mother, it is wicked. but if but both he and they will be burned in the fire, so that no wickedness will be among you. Excuse me. If a man has sexual relations with an animal, it is to be put is to be put to death, and you must kill the animal. If a woman approaches an animal to have sexual relations with it, kill both the woman and the animal. They are to be put to death. Their blood will be on their own heads. If a man marries his sister and daughter, or either his father or his mother, and they have sexual relations, it is disgrace. They are to be publicly removed from their people. He has dishonored his sister and will be held responsible. If a man has sexual relations with a woman during the monthly period, he has exposed the source of her flow, and she has uncovered it. Both of them are to be cut off from their people. Do not have sexual relations with the sister, or either your mother or your father, for it would dishonor a close relative. Both of you would be held responsible. If you had the sexual relations with an aunt, he has dishonored his uncle. They will be held responsible, and they will die childless. If a man marries his brother's wife, it is an act of impurity and has dishonored his brother with all the they will be childless. Keep all my decrees and laws and follow them, so that the land where I am bringing you to live may not vomit you out. You must not live according to the customs of the nations I'm going to drive out before you, because they did all these things. I abhorred them. I don't know what that is. Because I said to you, you will possess their land. I will give it to you as an inheritance, a land flowing with milk and honey. I am the Lord your God, who has set you apart from the nations. You must therefore make a distinction between clean and unclean animals, and between unclean and clean birds. Do not defile yourselves by any animal or bird or anything that moves along the ground. Those that I have set apart is unclean for you. You are to be holy and to me, because I, the Lord, am holy, and I have set it apart from the nations to be my own. A man or woman who is medium or spiritist among you must be put to death. They are to be stoned. You are to stone them. Their blood will be on their own heads. Rules of Priests, chapter 21. The Lord said to Moses, speak to the priests, the sons of Aaron, and say to them, A priest must not make himself ceremonial unclean for all the people who die, except for the close relatives such as his mother or father, his son or daughter, his brother or his unmarried sister who has departed on him since she has no husband. For her he may make himself unclean. He must not make himself unclean for people related to him by marriage, and so defile him. Priests must not shave their heads and shave off the edges of their beards or cut their bodies. They must be holy to their God and must not profane the name of the God of their God, because they present the food offerings to the Lord, the food of their God. That they are to be holy. They must not marry women defiled by prostitution or divorce their own husbands, because priests are holy to their God. Regard them as holy because they offer you the food of your God. Consider them holy because I, the Lord, am holy. I who make you holy. If a priest's daughter defiles herself by becoming a prostitute or disgraces her father, she must be burned in the fire. The high priest, the one among his brothers who has had the anointing oil poured on his head and who has been ordained to wear the priest's garments, must not let his hair become unkempt or tear his clothes. He must not enter a place where there is a dead body. He must not make himself unclean, even if his father or mother, nor leave the sanctuary of his God or desecrate it, because he has been dedicated by the anointing oil of his God. I am the Lord. The woman who marries must be a virgin. He must not marry a widow, a divorced woman, or a woman defiled by prostitution, but only a virgin from his own people, so that he will not defile his offering among this people. I am the Lord who makes him holy. The Lord said to Moses, say to Aaron, for the generations to come now of our descendants who had defect may come near to offer the food of his God. No man who has any defect may come near. No man who is blind or lame, disfigured or disformed. No man with crippled foot or hand, or one who has hunchback, or dwarf, or who has an eye defect, or who has festering the running sores and damaged testicles. No descendant of Aaron, the priest, who has any defect is to come near the food offerings of the Lord. He has to be he has a defect. He must not come near to offer the food to his God. He may eat the most holy food of his God as well as the holy food. Yet, because he has a defect, he must not go near the curtain or approach the altar. And so discreet my sanctuary. I am the Lord who makes them holy. So if someone was born handicapped, does that mean they're lost? Maybe you can comment that in the comment section, your opinion, because that's puzzling me. Because when you're born It's not your fault. That's how you was made, how God allowed you to be born. So why would he take you and not let you enjoy the kingdom? Comment below. Chapter 22. Moses told this to Aaron and his sons and to all the Israelites. The Lord said to Moses, "Tell Aaron and his sons to treat with respect the sacrifice offerings the Israelites consecrate to me, so they will not profane my holy name. I am the Lord. Say to them, for the generations to come, if any of your descendants is ceremonially unclean and yet comes near the sacrifice offerings that the Israelites consecrate to the Lord, that person will be cut off from my presence. I am the Lord. If a descendant of Aaron who has defiled skin disease or a bodily discharge, he may not eat the sacred offerings until he is cleansed. He will also be unclean if he touches something defiled by a corpse or by anyone who has emission of semen, or if he touches any crawling thing that makes him unclean, or any person who makes him unclean, whatever the uncleanness may be. The one who touches my sacred offerings, unless he has bathed himself with water, when the sun goes down, he will be clean, and after that he may eat the sacred offerings, for they are his food. But he must not eat anything found dead or torn by wild animals, and so becoming unclean through it. I am the Lord. The priests are to perform many services in which a way that they do not become guilty or die by treating it with contempt. I am the Lord who makes them holy. No one outside the priest's family may eat the sacred offering, nor may the guests of the priests or their hired worker eat it. But if a priest buys a slave with money, or if slaves are born in his household, they may eat his food. If a priest's daughter marries if a priest's daughter marries anyone other than a priest, she may not eat any of the sacred contributions. But if the priest's daughter becomes a widow or is divorced, yet has no children, and she returns to live with her father's household as in her youth, she may eat her father's food. No unauthorized person, however, may eat it. Anyone who eats a sacred offering by mistake must make restitution to the priest for the offering and all the fifth of the value of it. The priest must not discreet the sacred offerings the Israelites present to the Lord by allowing them to eat the sacred offerings, and so bring upon them guilt requiring payment. I am the Lord who makes them holy. Unacceptable sacrifices. The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to Aaron and his sons and to the Israelites, and say to them, if any of you, whether an Israelite or a foreigner, reside in Israel, present the gifts of a burnt offering to the Lord, either to fulfill the vow or to free will offering, you must present a male without defect from the cattle, sheep, or goats, in order that it may be accepted on your behalf. Do not bring anything with a defect, because it will not be accepted on your behalf. When anyone brings from their herd a flock of fellowship offering to the Lord to fulfill a special vow or as a free will offering, it must be without defect or blemish to be accepted. Do not offer the Lord the blind, the injured, or the maimed, or anything with warts, or festering, or running sores. Do not place any of these on the altar as food offering presented to the Lord. You may, however, present as a free will offering an ox or a sheep that is deformed or stunted. It will not, but it will not be accepted in fulfillment of a vow. You must not offer to the Lord the animal whose testicles are bruised, crushed, torn, or cut. You must not do this in your own land, but you must not accept such animals from the hand of the foreigner and offer them as food for your God. They will not be accepted on your behalf because they are deformed and have defects. The Lord said to Moses, when a calf, lamb, or a goat is born, it is to remain with its mother for 7 days. From the 8th day on, it will be acceptable as a food offering presented to the Lord. Do not slaughter a cow or a sheep and its young at the same time, on the same day. When you sacrifice a thank offering to the Lord, sacrifice it in such a way that it will be accepted on your behalf. It must be eaten the same day. Leave none of it till morning. I am the Lord. Keep my commandments and follow them. I am the Lord. Do not profane my holy name, for I am acknowledged as holy by the Israelites. I am the Lord who made you holy and who brought you out of Egypt to be your God. I am the Lord. I don't know if I have another one or not. Let's see. One more chapter. Chapter 23. And appointed festivals. The Lord said to Moses, speak to the Israelites and say to them, these are my appointed festivals, the appointed festivals of the Lord, which you are to proclaim as sacred assemblies. The Sabbath. There are 6 days when you may work, but the 7th day is a day of Sabbath rest, a day of sacred assembly. You are not to do any work. Wherever you live, it is Sabbath to the Lord. The Passover and the festival of unleavened bread. These are the Lord's appointed festivals, the sacred assemblies you are to proclaim at their anointed times. The Lord's Passover begins at twilight on the 14th day of the first month, January 14th. On the 15th day of the month, the Lord's festival of unleavened bread begins. For 7 days you must eat bread made without yeast. On the 7th day, hold a sacred assembly and do no regular work. For 7 days, present the food offering to the Lord, and on the 7th day, hold a sacred assembly and do not do regular work. Offering of the first fruits. The Lord said to Moses, speak to the Israelites and say to them, when you enter the land I am going to give you, and you reap its harvest, bring to the priest a sheaf, sheaf, of the first grain of harvest. He is to wave the sheaf before the Lord, so it will be accepted on your behalf. The priest is to wave it on the day after Sabbath, on the day the wave of sheaf you must sacrifice as a burnt offering to the Lord, a lamb a year old without defect, together with its grain offering, a tenth, 2/10 of an ephah on the finest flour mixed with olive oil, a food offering presented to the Lord, a pleasing aroma, and its drink offering is a quarter of a hin of wine. You must not eat any bread or roasted or any grain until the very day you bring this offering to your God. This is to be the lasting ordinance of the generation to come, wherever you live. The festivals of weeks. From the day after the Sabbath, the day you brought the sheaf to the wave offering, count off 7 full weeks. Count off 50 days, one on the day after the 7th Sabbath, and then present an offering of new grain to the Lord. From wherever you live, bring 2 loaves made of 2/10 of the ephah in the finest flour, baked with yeast, as a wave offering of first fruits to the Lord. Present with this bread 7 male lambs, each a year old, without defect, 1 young bull, and 2 rams. They will be burnt offerings to the Lord, together with the grain offerings and drink offerings, a food offering of aroma pleasing to the Lord. Then sacrifice 1 male goat for a sin offering, and 2 lambs, each a year old, of the fellowship offering. The priest is to wave the 2 lambs before the Lord as a wave offering, together with the bread of the first fruits. They are a sacred offering to the Lord, for the priest. On that same day, you are to proclaim the sacred assembly and do no regular work. This is to be the lasting ordinance for the generations to come, wherever you live. When you reap the harvest of the land, do not reap to the very edges of the field, or gather the gleanings of your harvest. Leave them for the poor, for the foreigner residing among you. I am the Lord your God. The festival of trumpets. The Lord said to Moses, say to the Israelites, on the first day of the 7th month, you are to have a day of Sabbath rest, a sacred assembly commemorated with trumpet blasts. Do no regular work, but present food offering to the Lord. The Day of Atonement. The Lord said to Moses, the 10th day of this 7th month is the Day of Atonement. Hold a sacred assembly and deny yourselves and present a food offering to the Lord. Do not do any work on that day, because it is a Day of Atonement. When atonement is made for you before the Lord your God, those who do not deny themselves on that day must be cut off from their people. I will destroy from among those people anyone who does any work on that day. You shall do not work at all. This is to be a lasting ordinance for the generations to come, wherever you live. It is a day of Sabbath rest for you, and you must deny yourselves. From the evening of the 9th day of the month until the following evening you are to observe your Sabbath. The Festival of Tabernacles. The Lord said to Moses, "Say to the Israelites, on the 15th day of the 7th month, the Lord's Festival of Tabernacles begins, and it lasts for 7 days. The first day is a sacred assembly. Do no regular work. For 7 days present food offerings to the Lord, and on the 8th day hold a sacred assembly and present a food offering to the Lord. It is a closing special assembly. Do no regular work. These are the Lord's appointed festivals, which you are to proclaim as sacred assemblies for bringing food offerings to the Lord. The burnt offering and grain offerings, sacrifice and drink offerings required for each day. These offerings are in addition to those for the Lord's Sabbaths, and in addition to the gifts and whatever you have vowed, and all the free will offerings you give to the Lord. So, beginning with the 15th day of the 7th month, after you are gathered your crops of the land, celebrate the festival to the Lord for 7 days. The first day is a day of Sabbath rest, and the 8th day also is a day of Sabbath rest. On the first day, you are to take branches from luxuriant trees, from plants, willows, and other leafy trees, and rejoice before the Lord your God for 7 days. Celebrating this as a festival to the Lord for 7 days each year. I lost my place. This is to be a lasting ordinance for the generations to come. Celebrate it on the 7th month. Live in temporary shelters for 7 days. All native-born Israelites are to live in their shelters, so their descendants will know that all of the Israelites live in temporary shelters. When I brought them out of Egypt, I am the Lord your God." So Moses announced to the Israelites the appointed festivals of the Lord. Well, hopefully someone can help answer some of the questions I had on these readings today, because I'm kind of puzzled. I have to ask my pastor when I go in a church and just kind of ask. Maybe he will have a better understanding and can explain it to me. I'm hoping. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this today. I hope you have a blessed day. Enjoy the sunshine if you have some nice sunshine. For whenever it gets dark, it's going to be lost. So take advantage of it while you can. And I hope that it's a good day for you. And I'll see you tomorrow. Have a blessed day. Remember, God loves you, and so do I. Ta-ta.